One of the best things about studying and understanding an asset is that if the price goes up or it goes down, you don't worry about it because you've done the knowledge, you study, you know what it is that you're holding. So price action every day, this doesn't really matter to you. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Stack Sats or Die Trying. This is the Bitcoin only show brought to you by the Black Wealth Rebels and by the Hood. I'm your host, as always. My name is Jimmy. Welcome to episode 46. This is the YZER Jenkins episode of Stack Sats. No one ever thought they would hear his name. Shout out to YZER Jenkins, wherever you may be, from the Eagles. Shout out to the Eagles going to the Super Bowl, by the way. But this is, we're here to talk about Bitcoin. Not going to be on here too long. I definitely want to bring you guys some information about what's going on in the world of Bitcoin. But I'm not going to pontificate for 2 to 3 hours. It's 2025, so we are all about the education and explaining this journey as me as a Bitcoiner as I stack sats and just find various ways to stack sats or die trying, because that is the objective. Shout out to everybody who supports the show. Shout out to my brother Ross Hassan for inviting me onto his radio program in Cleveland last week. That was a bunch of fun. Shout out to everybody in the village. And the village is Black Wealth Rebels, right? That's our Black Wealth Rebels village. For those who don't know what that is, make sure to sign up for the village, man. You got to sign up for the village because the village is where we spend all of our time, man. You go to blackwealthrebels.com and, sign up for that. And it's where we spend a lot of our time, but we trade there. We talk about, Bitcoin. We have all kinds of classes. We have classes specifically for the paid members, but you can get in there for free. Go to blackwealthrebels.com. You see it at the bottom of the screen right now. And, just make sure to come through and join our village. But it's time to talk about what's going on in the world of Bitcoin, right? And, I got another PowerPoint. Although this probably didn't really even deserve a PowerPoint, to be honest with you. But, I'm in my bag right now. So, let's continue to do so. I want to talk about Deepseek, right? Deepseek. And for those who don't know, matter of fact, we'll talk about it during the presentation, right? But the title of this presentation is called Deepseek, AI's Impact on Bitcoin. One of the things I get asked all the time is what will be the impact on Bitcoin from artificial intelligence? Or the one I get the most is really quantum computing. Bitcoin doesn't care about your AI and Bitcoin doesn't care about your quantum computing, but that's not what I want to talk about. So Bitcoin saw a tumble in price today. And before we talk about that, I have to mention that the tumbles in price of Bitcoin in 2025 is completely different than the ones that I have experienced in the past. As someone who's been around for the values and peaks of 2017, 2020, 2021, I laugh at these drops, right? I've seen Bitcoin drop 30% in a day, like literally. So when it goes like 5%, I understand people are looking at the number, right? It's over 100,000. It goes below 100,000. People tend to freak out. But when you look at it from a percentage standpoint, it's not even really that much capital in the grand scheme of how Bitcoin moves. The other thing people say, well, if it's a store of value, then it shouldn't be able to drop like that. But I think that it's the greatest store of value. And the fact that it does drop like that means that it has an actual market. The market isn't kept up with a lot of fraud and a lot of BS like other markets are. And we could talk about that in a whole episode. But today you saw a drop based upon Deepseek, but it wasn't just Bitcoin. It was the overall market. The entire tech sector was beat up crazy. So let me just get into this presentation real fast, and then I'll talk a little bit about my thoughts about what's going on. But the recent decline in Bitcoin's price is largely attributed to concerns surrounding Deepseek. It's a powerful new AI model emerging from China. So in this presentation, I'm going to talk about the potential implications of Deepseek's development, exploring the ripple effects on both AI and the crypto markets overall. So that's what I'm going to talk about briefly. It's a short presentation, but we are going to get to it. So Deepseek, right? Deepseek is positioned as a highly cost-effective and powerful AI model. It potentially can disrupt the dominance of U.S. tech companies in the AI space. At least that is the narrative that is being spun out there, right? So because of this, we've had market uncertainty. There's uncertainty surrounding Deepseek's capabilities, potential to market impact has created a ripple effect across global markets, which includes cryptocurrency, which includes Bitcoin, right? So if for those who don't know what Deepseek is an AI model, like I said, that comes out of China. But the thing about it is it's supposed to be much faster, a lot leaner, a lot cheaper to build. And it kind of messed up the narrative that was being spun by a lot of our AI companies here in terms of the cost to run the LLM models, in terms of the amount of staff and everything that's needed. This model allegedly, and again, I say allegedly because I don't trust anything that narratives that are being spun about companies. That's just me personally. Because as a side note, this isn't because it's from China, because I think most US companies are full of it as well. When you take the time to study companies from a fundamental standpoint, when you get into fundamental analysis and you pull back the layer on some of these companies and you look at their books in terms of the income they generate, the debt they carry, right? The growth that they actually have year over year, you start to realize the majority of companies in this country are trash, right? Shouldn't say that, but it's the truth. This is my personal opinion. This is not investment advice. Anything I say on here is for informational and educational purposes only. There are great companies. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that every company is trash, but I'm saying a majority of them are trash. So when you start to pull back a layer, you start to realize that. And I say that because when I'm giving you my analysis of Deepseek, it's based upon a narrative that I see being spun. But I also heard a rumor. Don't know if there's any truth at all to this, but this is what happens in 2025 in the markets. There was a rumor that a hedge fund is behind the creation of Deepseek because they ran some puts on NVIDIA, and this is their way of cashing out. Don't know how true it is. You know what I'm saying? I heard that on the street. And by the street, I mean X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. That's the street in 2025. You know what I'm saying? That's where I hear a lot of gossip at. But I digress. So the thing about Deepseek is it kind of just like throws a monkey wrench into everything that we thought we knew about AI and the value that was being provided from companies like NVIDIA, from AMD, from Facebook, from Google. So it kind of like, throws a monkey wrench in all that. And you have a lot of people that are invested in those companies and are pouring capital into those companies. And you see a company that comes out that's much leaner, much faster, much more cost effective, and gives a superior product. You're like, yo, what the hell is going on? Is all this value that's created in our space, is it unwarranted? So what tends to happen then is people pull their capital from those specific companies. Now, here's where they're saying Deepseek has a competitive edge. Cost efficiency. Deepseek's cost effectiveness offers a compelling alternative to existing AI models. It challenges all of the established players. It supposedly has advanced capabilities. It's touted for that as well. So it seems like it's surpassing what already exists. And it's having a global impact, right? It's going to have an impact on all of the things that are happening here in the States, whether they like it or not, because they're going to have to respond to this, right? So if they can run their model at this price, why are we investing and putting so much capital behind what you're doing? Now, some people who represent the companies from here in America are saying that they piggybacked off of, ChatGPT and other models, and they're not playing fair. But at the end of the day, this is damn near arms race. You can sit around and cry about someone playing fair or fight harder. You know what I'm saying? That the choice is yours, because the market is going to respond the way the market wants to respond. And I'm going to tie this into Bitcoin in a second for those who are wondering, like, yo, I came here to hear you spit bars about Bitcoin. Well, everything is connected. Just understand that. But there's investor sentiment, right? Investors are expressing concerns about the potential impact of Deepseek on their investments, which led to the volatility you saw on the market today. And by today, I'm recording this on Monday, right? You'll probably see this on Tuesday, once I upload it and everything. So who knows? Maybe the market will pop back up Tuesday. If so, it's cool because I've repositioned in some longs today. Pause.
Hey, yo!
Devaluation risk. The fear is that Deepseek could significantly impact competitive landscape and potentially devalue existing AI technologies, right? And I know some people today were calling my phone and they're like, now is it time to sell? Like, is it time to sell because this thing is going to fall? I'm like, no, do not sell. Do not sell, right? Because
Hell no!
Then again, like, let me take a step back as I say that. If you are in it for the long haul, if you are a long-term investor, if you believe in what it is that you're holding, when stuff like this happens, what you're supposed to do is buy more, right? And I know some people say, well, you could time the market and you could do that. Man, I disagree.
I disagree.
Don't even worry about timing the market. Worry about acquiring. And again, this applies to Bitcoin, but it applies to anything. If you are bullish on the S&P 500 and that's what you want to build your portfolio around, be bullish about buying as much as possible, as many times as possible as you can. One of the interesting things about Bitcoin, when I watch someone like a Michael Saylor who is buying when it's low. He's buying when it's high. He's DCAing, even though he's spending billions, he's just buying because the price doesn't matter. Because in his mind, Bitcoin is the valuable asset that it is. So for him, I want to acquire as much as I can as possible before someone else does. Price doesn't matter. And if you believe in whatever asset it is, whether that's the S&P 500, whether that's Bitcoin, whether that is, NVIDIA, whether that's Microsoft, if you believe in that, acquire as much as you can, as often as you can, not investment advice, right? You know what I'm saying? So investors, right? What tends to happen with investors when there's some sort of uncertainty like this is they like to go to cash. So you see a sell-off. And this also tells me that a lot of people still look at Bitcoin as an investment and not a savings, right? When you go down a rabbit hole and you fully understand Bitcoin, you no longer look at Bitcoin as an investment. You look at it as being your cash. So the shift to cash is kind of weird to me as a Bitcoiner, as someone who lives on a Bitcoin standard, because I don't carry cash. F cash. But I say all that to say this. That's what tends to happen in the market. People get concerned and they pull out of equities altogether. So it leads me to believe that a lot of investors still look at Bitcoin as an equity when you see the rotation out of it. But the great part, like I said in the beginning, is the drawdowns are nothing in comparison to what they used to be, because there's always buyers there. As I record this, we fell to like 98,000 or something like that. As I record this, we're close to 103 again, just that fast. There are buyers. Every time this falls, there are buyers there, because now we have huge institutions and big players in the space that weren't there before to catch some of these falls. So what I see happening over a long period of time is we'll still have drawdowns. I don't know if we'll ever have, again, speculation. We still could. Actually, I don't want to say this. I don't want to piss nobody off. I low-key hope we do, because, I'm saying, I'm going to have buys set up all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, I'm gonna go like, sell a crib or refi a house to get a lump sum if we really fall, to buy full coins. But I digress again. So you see the drawdowns not being as steep as they once were, and that's why. But you do see investors shifting out of it because, again, they're scared. That's the thing about the market, man. A lot of folks who be in the market, man, y'all are so emotional. Y'all like, you know what I'm saying? You Carl Thomas, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all mad sensitive. Y'all mad Trez Vanny and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me move on. So uncertainty surrounding Deepseek has led to a sell-off in various sectors, including technology stocks. And that sell-off in technology stocks has negatively impacted Bitcoin's price, which made it decline. I know some people say that you talk about Bitcoin like it's outside of the market, but it tends to move with technology. And there's a little bit of truth in that when you watch Bitcoin's price action. But I think that's short-term thinking, though. I think long-term, it will distinguish itself as being its own thing. But so a lot of people still look at it as being a tech play and not really cash. Again, like I said before. So investors are seeking a safe haven asset, which is, dollars. It is what it is, which led to a shift in investment strategies and further impact on Bitcoin's price. So that's why you saw the drop in Bitcoin today was based upon what's going on with Deepseek. Now let's talk about the future of AI real fast. AI moves so fast. Shout out to my brother, real estate coach Carter. I was talking to him like 8 o'clock this morning. We were talking about the markets, man. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things that he kept mentioning was just the speed at which technology moves and how difficult it is to keep up because things are moving so fast. You know what I'm saying? So it's moving extremely fast, but there's also heightened competition. Here's what I want to say about this heightened competition that made me think. I was thinking about Deepseek, and that made me like think a little bit deeper just about AI and the space and the technology. And what I'm thinking about is if this model has the ability to pop up and impact the entire market the way that it did. I heard about Deepseek about 2 or 3 weeks ago was the first time I heard about it. So in less than a month, it affected the entire global stock market. It makes me think about, going back to my Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger teachings, although, I disagree with them in terms of their point on Bitcoin. But when they talk about competitive advantages and having a moat, and I think about the fact that ChatGPT, Gemini, a lot of those companies got so far out ahead. But what's to stop an upstart just in general from creating a better algorithm, a better model outside of the access to data. But if they're able to piggyback off of other things, it just makes me think, what is the moat that will exist? Now, from someone who's played around with the technology, I think that Gemini is interesting because the moat that I see, at least, is all the Google services. What I think is dope, and this is not an endorsement of Gemini. I've paid for the pro version of both Gemini and ChatGPT to see what the value is in each. But what I find interesting about Gemini is how it ties into all of the Google products. I've said on the record before, Google has so much information about me. Google knows more about me than my family does. It just does, right? Between Gmail, Google Drive, Google Keep, Google Flights, Google, investment, all Google Finance, all the things. I use Google for so much. And now with their Gemini, I'm able to tie that into all the services. So that may be a little bit of a moat, but what we'll see is that if a company can come up with something that's leaner, faster, superior, I don't know what the moat is in this space. That's something that I'm just looking at when we talk about heightened competition. And, Deepseek is showing that AI is global. And again, in my opinion, it seemingly comes off like it's an arms race. So we're going to have to compete. We're going to have to compete. You know what I mean? So one of my key takeaways from this quick presentation about Deepseek is that this is a global thing, right? Its impact will extend beyond AI and cryptocurrency markets, and it will influence industries worldwide. AI is here to stay. AI is very buzzwordy. People put AI on all kinds of things that aren't artificially intelligence, because there's a difference between being artificially intelligent and being like, quote unquote smart. In my opinion, people convolute the two. Investment landscape. So investors will need to adapt their strategies to navigate the shifting AI landscape. So you have to consider both your opportunities and your risk. Are you willing to take the risk that someone can pop up, and compete with a company that has a long-standing play in AI, and someone just comes up with a better model that does more and it's a lot cheaper? You have to really concern yourself with that. But the great thing is innovation catalyst, the last part I want to talk about. I think what happens from this is everybody has to step their game up. Everybody has to step their game up. Competition breeds innovation, and it breeds value creation. So when you see someone have this, I'm pretty sure the meetings today at a lot of those companies were very, very interesting in their war rooms in terms of what they have to do to compete. And competition for us as consumers is always a good thing, right? With the exception of shitcoins, because I'm never going to give shitcoins credit for nothing. Nope. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Can't do it.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Everybody, anybody, anytime someone brings up a shitcoin to me, you already know what my response is. You know what I mean? F out of here.
And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Fuck this bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Anyway, so that's what's going on with Bitcoin in terms of Deepseek. For those out there, man, continue to hold. Not investment advice. I'm telling you what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Continue to do what you got to do in terms of Bitcoin. Stack as many ways as possible, right? Shout out to all my miners out there. I'm doing a lot of knowledge of mining right now and getting into that bag. So I go from the Lightning Network to mining because, again, Bitcoin is such an interesting topic to me, right? So I think the nerd in me, one of the reasons I became a Bitcoiner is because this rabbit hole is so powerful, and it allows me to really just study and learn about life and learn about myself through Bitcoin. So it's a very, very powerful thing. Again, for those who are not members of the village, make sure to join the village. You know what I'm saying? Go to blackwealthrebels.com and sign up to join our village. There is free tiers. If you're in the village and you're watching this, salute to you, because you always get this episode early. When I said Tuesday, I meant you guys. Everybody else will get this Friday, and y'all gonna be like, yo, what are you talking about? Because either Bitcoin will be back in the 90s again, or probably maybe 110 or something. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, if you're in the village and you're watching this, salute to you. You know what I'm saying? We love everybody in the village. We do a class every Sunday. This last class was about REITs. Wealthy Wednesdays, we're on Wednesday Live. Friday, Freedom Fridays, and we do a Bitcoin giveaway. We give away Bitcoin every Friday. So pull up Friday to get you some free sats. And just watch what's happening in the market. You know what I'm saying? Just watch what's happening in the market. See how things are going. You know what I'm saying? I used to, when Bitcoin will fall, I'll watch the market and see how long it would take for it to come back. I don't even look anymore. Like, I'm so beyond that now. For me, I'm just like almost a collector. I'm just stacking sats. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, man. But do all the YouTubing and stuff, like, comment, subscribe, sign up at blackwealthrebels.com. Give me some feedback. Love and appreciate all the support. Yo, even the haters out there, because as we grow and our channels are growing, our Black Wealth Rebel channels, go subscribe to Black Wealth Rebels on YouTube, by the way. We got our own channel just for the Black Wealth Rebels. But in the By the Hood channel is still growing. There's a lot of hate in the comments, and I just want you guys to know that I love that too. Yo, bring more hate. I need more haters, man. You know what I'm saying? The words of Tone Trump, man. World Star Tony, man. If they ain't hating, you ain't winning. So bring all the hate. All the shit coiners, bring all your hate. Still ain't buying your shit coin. Anyway, man, I love y'all. Stay safe out there. You know what I'm saying? Also, last thing, real quick, March 8th, the Black Wealth Rebels are having an event in Philadelphia. We are having an event, a cash mob at a Black-owned business, which is the Breakfast Boutique right off of Kelly Drive. So hit me up if you want more information, or pull up. We're going to do what we call a pod class, right? We pulling up to do a live podcast. Of course, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin because I can't talk without talking about Bitcoin. But it's also, we're going to have a lot of grub, a lot of food. But it's March 8th. You know what I'm saying? So pull up for that. Anyway, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. And as always, stack sats or die trying. Peace.